Oh, you are live. Hello. Good evening to you. Almost midnight, almost the witching hour. And this is Dubiel After Dark. And I'm going to just share this on my feed while I'm here. Did you watch the gubernatorial debate on Channel 7? I did not watch the gubernatorial debate. I tried to tape it. Hi, Susan. Another night owl. I did not watch it. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to tape it. And I didn't watch it yet. But I have a feeling that even though I didn't watch it, I know what happened. And being a regular guy, not a politician, and experiencing some of these people in real life, for example, when I filed my petitions at the state of Illinois Board of Election office in Springfield, I ran into Jesse Sullivan and his running mate, and I'd never seen them in person before, aside from the mailers. And I ran into Max Solomon and Latasha Fields and Devin Jones, who I had met before. In fact, Devin welcomed me and stood with me in line. And Latasha gave me a hug, and I met Latasha's husband. And one of her kids, actually two of the kids were there. And then I met Max finally, because I hadn't met him in person yet. And I liked Max instantly. And I didn't talk to Jesse Sullivan, and I didn't talk to Kathleen in person. I just saw them walk by. And then fast forward to weeks later, months later, maybe, it's all a blur of somewhat. And I met Richard Irvin, the mayor of Aurora, at the Lake County endorsement seminar or endorsement series, where candidates like me show up. We're escorted into a room, a back room, filled with people that you don't know and never met before. And you get, I think we got 3 minutes or 5 minutes to introduce ourselves, and then another 5 minutes for questions. And Richard Irvin, the mayor of Aurora, who's running for governor, was supposed to go after me. But he was late. We all had specific times, and I got there way early because I didn't want to be late. Every other candidate that I saw was there early, and Richard got there late, and they let him take somebody else's time. And I met him and I said hello. And everyone is typically pretty friendly at these things. And I've met Darren Bailey. In fact, when I started my campaign, I went down to Springfield to a Darren Bailey event where Tom DeVore was. And it was at a Godfather's Pizza in Springfield. And Darren asked if anybody in the room was, and anyone else was running for office. And there was a couple of us, and I raised my hand, and he encouraged everyone to get to know us and allowed us to get signatures at his event. And so I saw these people, a lot of them again the other night, because we had a Senate forum in Lake County. And it's interesting, a lot of the Senate candidates that are running against me didn't show up at this Senate forum. It was just myself and two other candidates. One of the candidates was already endorsed by Lake County. And it's kind of in reverse order. Really, they should have a forum and then the endorsement. But they had this endorsement thing where I met the mayor of Aurora, and they already endorsed the woman that is the establishment candidate and is very connected to the political machine in Illinois and the legal machine in Illinois. And that's fine. But these endorsements are a mechanism for control. It's the machine, it's all these little groups and their interest in trying to control what you do. The Will County GOP, if they endorse somebody, they're doing that because they want to assert their authority and their control over the race. The Lake County Republicans or the Lake County GOP endorses because they want some control. And lots of these different groups want to show that they have control over an election that ultimately they have no control over. It's supposed to be controlled by we the people. These endorsements are complete garbage. Now, an endorsement, in my opinion, from an organization like the Fraternal Order Police, or like I was endorsed by the Italian American Association, Police Association of Illinois. Their mission is to make sure that they put their rubber stamp on a candidate that's going to represent their values. Same thing with like the NRA. But a lot of these things are just control mechanisms, and especially among these GOP organizations. And so there was an event tonight in Niles, and somebody just messaged me, somebody that I like very much, and said, "Hey, were you invited to this?" Actually, two different people. One said, "Did you go?" The other one said, "Were you invited?" And the truth is, I was invited to this event in Niles tonight. And it was put on by a bunch of different GOPs. But I didn't go to it for two reasons. And I'm going to share with you specifically why and why I think that's important. And if you're watching this and you'd like to share this with other people or share it on your feed, I'd appreciate that, because the more people that see this stuff, the better. People need to know this sort of shenanigans that's going on with these organizations and what their motivations are. So the first reason why I didn't go to this event tonight was because it's put on by people that are in other groups or organizations that have already endorsed the same candidate they keep endorsing without any knowledge or awareness of myself or the other candidates, without any participation from myself or the other candidates. If you're going to endorse somebody, you should talk to all the candidates. You should find out who all the candidates are and what the candidates stand for. And these groups haven't done that. In fact, they didn't even know who the candidates were. They just endorsed somebody that they know based on, I don't know what their motivations were. Joshua Alvarado says, you should have come. Too many rhinos there. I felt out of place. Thank you, man. I would have come if I would have known you were going to be there, maybe, because we would have had some fun. But one of these groups that put this event on endorsed a candidate in my race without even knowing that I was running and other candidates were running. And then when I was invited to this event, I was told that I was going to speak for a couple of minutes at this event tonight. And I emailed the person that was organizing it, and I said, thank you, and I'm looking forward to meeting you, and I appreciate this opportunity to speak for 2 minutes. And the person emailed me back and said, you're not speaking at the event. There's been some misunderstanding. And so then I apologized, and I said, oh, okay, my mistake. And he said, but if you'd like to speak, you can speak for a small donation of $5,000 to buy a table. And I said, oh, interesting. Okay, so, okay, I'm a capitalist. How does this work? And he said, well, other candidates have already participated, namely the person that already got their endorsement in their other group. She bought a table for $5,000, and so she's going to speak for at least 2 minutes, depending on how many other candidates are engaged in participating and donating. Oh, okay. And so I passed on that. I passed on that opportunity for that, to me, obvious reason, because if I'm going to pay to speak, if I'm going to pay $5,000 to speak, I'm going to pay to speak to regular people. And as it just so happens, I spent my night with regular people tonight. I was with my daughter and the parents of her new school. It's a Families of Faith school that just opened up in Naperville. And I've missed all the other events that they've had where parents and founding families like mine for the students were getting together because I've been out campaigning. And I've been going to some of these events that have been organized by GOPs, and I've missed these parent meetings and this opportunity to get to know the students and the parents and the community that we're building here at this Families of Faith school. And so a couple of weeks ago, my wife said, people have been asking to meet you because, Stella's there and my wife is there, but I'm not there because I'm out campaigning. And so I said, well, when's the next one? And she said, well, there's a kickball, parents versus children kickball event. And it's tonight. It was tonight. And I said, great, I'm going to do that one. That sounds like a lot of fun. And so I played kickball with my daughter and a bunch of other great kids and wonderful families. And we didn't talk politics and we didn't campaign, and we just connected and we just built our community. And I didn't have to pay to do that. And we had a great time, and we needed it. They needed it, and they needed to know that I wanted to be there. But the example to me of what's happening at even these debates. So there was a gubernatorial debate tonight. And if you think that's because ABC7 really cares about who's governor, if you think that that's because ABC7 really wants to make sure that we know all the candidates, it's not. It's because they had the ability with the NBA playoffs and the TV schedules being done, they had the ability to put something on the air and record something tonight, and the staff to do it. And they're going to air it tomorrow on Channel 7 when they have the ability to. But ABC 7 doesn't care about us. They don't care whether or not we see the candidates or learn about them. If they did, they would also do a Senate forum, and they would put it on Channel 7. If NBC5 also cared, they would do a Senate forum and put it on NBC5. If CBS2 cared about us and our community, they would do a Senate forum also and put it on CBS2. And the same thing goes for Fox 32 and WGN, but they don't care really. What they care about is making money off of commercials. And they know that if they give some screen time to more of the candidates, the ones that are in the hunt, the ones that are in the top tier that are raising the most amount of money may be more likely to buy commercials during the debate. And so it's a sales effort. And I know this because I'm in their business. I'm in the broadcasting business. So they say, well, we'll put this debate on, and then we're going to try and sell Richard Irvin and Darren Bailey and Jesse Sullivan more commercials because they're spending all their money on digital, and they're spending all their money on radio, and they're spending it all over the place. But the fact of the matter is they just want to get revenue, and they want to get some of that political money. And they want to make inroads so that that one candidate that does get the nomination with the big purse strings is the one that advertises with them for the general election. And so therein lies the rub. This is why there is no Senate forum. This is why there is no school board forum on television, because there's no money there. They can't make any money off of it. So back to the GOPs and these small groups and meeting people behind the scenes. One of the people that showed up at this Lake County forum, a lot of people stayed after our Senate forum the other night, because after the Senate forum, there was a gala dinner. And I don't know if it was $150 a person or what it was. And they invited me to stay. And I declined because I came home and I played catch with Rocco instead. And might have been a missed opportunity because there's some big shots in there. Dick Uline, who is a big donor and a big financer behind Mary Miller and some of the other candidates, he was there. And some of these other big donors were at this dinner. And the head of the GOP, the Illinois GOP, his name is Don, he was there. He pulled up in a limo. And, in fairness to him, maybe he has to have a limo because he came from downstate and he probably didn't drive and maybe flew in or whatever. But these people are playing games of control. This uniparty in Illinois is a game of control. And the news and the media are games of control. Social media is a game of control. And so please share this if you want other people that to see this sort of stuff and to see more of this, because otherwise nobody will see this. And even if you do share it, please do and heart it and engage. Thank you for the comments. And I'm not reading them in real time just because I get distracted and I'm trying to stay on topic. And one of the reasons why I decided to do this live was because I'm up, and I'm usually up anyway, because I didn't really talk with a bunch of people today on the streets of, Illinois. I talked with a small group of people, and we didn't talk about politics and the Senate race in Illinois. We just talked about school and faith and kickball and ice cream and other cool stuff. But if you comment on this and if you share it and if you engage and heart it and stuff, there's a better chance people will see it that maybe need to see this sort of stuff, because this misconception that people have is that these newspapers and television stations and radio stations have our best interests in mind. And even in some cases, these candidates, they think that some of these candidates have our best interests in mind. And some of them do, and you shall know them by their fruits. And some of them clearly don't, and you shall also know them by their fruits. They're doing things already to show you that they don't have our best interests in mind. And the ones that you want to stick with, in my view, are going to just tell it to you like it is. Come what may. And that's just my attitude. And that doesn't mean that I'm the guy. You get to decide that. But I'm just going to tell it like it is, come what may. And people are going to say to me, well, now I'm not going to vote for you. Or, you lost, somebody messaged me today and said that I lost their vote. It's the first time that's happened. And it's somebody that has gone back and forth many times. What is earned easily is taken away easily. And so I don't want to earn any of this easily. And if you don't think that you should vote or support this campaign and what I'm doing, then you shouldn't. 100%. That's okay. You should make that call. But it won't be because I'm not completely transparent. And I have a feeling that this gubernatorial debate, for example, tonight includes one candidate for sure that is not completely transparent. And if you don't get a chance to watch it, I hope that you can find a way to watch it, because I would imagine, even though I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen this person and I've seen what they put out, and I believe you will know them by their fruits. And so these attack mailers, I usually have a stack of them someplace. I must have put them away, but these attack mailers are an indicator. People that are engaging in that sort of thing have nothing to stand on their own. And people that can't answer straightforward questions like, will you keep schools open? It's a pretty straightforward question. I don't think that schools should ever be closed. And, these governor candidates, I have a feeling there's a couple of them, at least one of them for sure, that is answering those questions straight up. And there's another candidate that is not answering those questions straight up. And we, the people of Illinois, are going to get the leadership and representation we deserve. If you buy in for the deception and the subterfuge, you're going to get deception and subterfuge. If you buy into the sycophantic, machinations, sorry to go, I'm trying to think of littler words that I don't know, littler words that really sum that up. But if you go in for the sycophantic stuff, like the So-and-so is endorsed by so-and-so, and this person's been seen with that person and all that sort of stuff. You're going to get those kind of people, and those kind of people probably aren't going to mix it up with people like us. And so I was just watching a replay of this live that Shannon Adcock from Awake Illinois did earlier today. And some of the things that she was saying were really hitting, what I've been thinking about these last few months as I've been campaigning, which is the people of Illinois are in for a terribly rude awakening. And if you, I say this and it sounds like it's a joke, but it's not a joke. If you like your communism, you can keep your communism, and it's only going to get worse. Remember when they changed our health care and they went to the Affordable Care Act, and the president at the time was Obama, and he said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And then people found out if they liked their doctor, they couldn't keep their doctor. In this situation, if you like the way things are going, you get to choose and vote for that. Not just with your vote on June 28th or early, if you decide to early vote, but with your dollar, with your time, and with your attention. Your dollar, your time, and your attention are the votes that you're voting with every day. And I think that everyone should be asking themselves and their family, what am I voting on every day? And what do I stand for? What do we want? And what do we stand against? And if we don't get out there, and I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. I'm messaging people, I'm texting people, I'm trying to reach people on the internet and through social media. I'm going to events, and then I'm still trying to mix it up. And I'm not perfect. I'm not doing it all right, but we need, and we have some helpers that are diehard. I got a new friend that I've made that is willing to drive all over the planet to help me get signs out and to get information out. And he doesn't have the time to do it. He's got a lot of other more important things to do, but he knows this is important. And then there's other people that are, all over the place that maybe could tell 3 friends about the person running for school board that they really like, or the person running for state assembly that they really like, or the person running for state rep they really like, or the person running for judge they really like, or the person running for treasurer of their county they really like. I really like Raj, and Raj is running for treasurer of Will County. Like everything about him, start to finish. And the fact that he also knows accounting and knows money. I really like a judge named Bob Bodek. Every interaction that we've had with Bob has been real and with integrity. And I really like Jed Davis, who's running for state rep, I believe, and I get some of those other offices confused. There's a lot of people that, and some of those guys I can vote for. I can vote for Bob, and I will. I can vote for Raj in the general, because I don't think he has a primary, and I will. But there's other candidates, and there's candidates that you like. Casey, I'm gonna just address this. This is okay. So Casey says, make a list of your favorite candidates, make a PDF and send it to friends, a cheat sheet. Some people are doing that, and that's up to you. I have a different perspective. I want people, individuals, and maybe this is too altruistic, and maybe this is, naive, but I want people to get off their asses as individuals and find out for themselves who's running, and take a real interest in their country, their county, their township, their village, their school board, whatever it is. Because if I'm making a list, and again, I'm not judging, you should do what you want to do for your family, and some families do that. And if that's what works for your family, that's what you guys should do. But for me personally, my wish is that people would engage, and they would meet candidates, and they would talk to them. So here's what Josh was saying. Get out and meet your candidates. They're out there for you to be met. Yes. So we're going to events, we're doing things for you to meet us and ask us questions. There are forums for you to meet us and ask us questions. There are Facebook pages and social media for you to meet us and ask us questions. And part of the reason why you may or may not like somebody, people that like me, there's a reason why they like me. It's 99% of the time because they met me. Well, maybe not 99% of the time. A lot of the time, it's because they met me. And the rest of the time, it's because maybe they feel like they met me because they saw me more than once. And you can see that I'm me. You know, good, bad, or ugly. Crazy hair, short hair, misspeaking, not misspeaking, whatever. I'm just me. And my job isn't to be a fake version of me. It's just to show you who I am. And then you get to decide, show you how I will, go with things. And then you get to decide. And people either like that or they don't like it. And I want others to go through that process. So I am not a fan of the GOP saying, these are the people to vote for. These are the ones that we endorse. They're doing that. They just did another one, Homer Glen or some township or whatever. They endorsed somebody else and they haven't met me. They didn't invite me to talk with them and meet with them. They didn't invite the other candidates for Senate to talk with them and meet with them. They just endorsed somebody that they liked or they donated money or that they were friends with or that they are in a country club with or whatever it is. And so the voters should be engaged. Each voter, I got to ask you, if you're an American and you're at a place where you can't pay attention to the people that are on your ballot, what do you think you're going to do when you move to Florida? What do you think you're going to do when you move to Tennessee? You're going to ruin Florida and Tennessee if you take that there. You have to be engaged. You have to be plugged in. We just had Memorial Day. There's men and women that have fought for our right to have these decisions. And then people that won't personally take the initiative to find out more about their decisions. This is a common theme I'm learning from various candidates. The just lack of interest from the population. And it's eye-opening. And so human nature if for people is to figure out who other people are voting for, who other people like. And let me tell you, friends, this is how we got into this situation. This is why you think it was such a terrible, pandemic, because you went to Costco. Costco made it so you had to wear masks even before the government made it so you had to wear masks. Then you went to Costco and you saw everyone wearing a mask and you thought, ooh, holy cow, this is serious. That's called social proof. It's like when you see people out in a line outside the club, you think the club is hopping, right? You go like, oh man, that's the place to be. Why? Because there's a line outside the club. Oh, this thing is serious. There's a bunch of people inside Costco wearing masks. So now you're going to do the same thing and you're only going to vote for people based on what other people are voting for or whoever else endorses somebody or because the Tribune says you should vote for this guy. The Tribune is gaming the system. The Tribune just endorsed a guy, for example, for governor that is the lowest polling gubernatorial candidate. What does that do? That makes it an even bigger toss-up that rigs it for the guy spending the most amount of money. And what happens when the Tribune does an endorsement? They call up their salespeople, call up the campaigns and say, hey, you should spend more money with us, advertise more so you can get the word out about your candidate. And they're going to get some more of that Irvin money, that Ken Griffin money. Mark says, I actually talked to the head of the Homer Township GOP about the way they went about picking candidates, 10 to 15 minutes heated discussion. With that said, I really liked the guy and told him I was very disappointed. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, Mark. I've never talked to, as far as I know, as far as I can recall, I've never talked to anybody at Homer Township. I don't know if they've talked to Bobby or Jimmy or Casey or Anthony or Peggy. I'm pretty sure they haven't talked to me. That's 6. And they endorse a lady that I don't know if she's ever been to Homer Township. I don't know if they talked to her. I wonder how much she donated to them. Maybe there's another reason. Maybe there's another motivation. But people have to stop focusing on endorsements and stop buying into the crap. What do you give a crap? I mean, do you use Gold Bond medicated stuff because Shaq uses it? Because he says you should use it? Do you get the reverse mortgage because Alan Thicke says to get a reverse mortgage? I mean, maybe you do, but I think if that happens, you got to ask yourself, like, maybe this is why we're getting where we got. Mark says, yep, good guy, known him a while, but the process was disappointing. Yeah, I mean, they endorsed, there's 7 candidates. They endorsed 1, and I'm pretty sure that they didn't talk to the rest. Casey says, did you guys talk about the Tribune headline yet? Hard focus on Bailey's only negative comment. Yeah, I mean, so here's what everyone has to understand. There's a billionaire in Illinois named Ken Griffin, and he is giving millions of dollars to the Irvin campaign. The Irvin campaign is giving, doling that money out to their slate of other people. So they have other people that are running, Secretary of State. They have a AG candidate and maybe a treasurer. I can't remember the other ones. And so they're doling that money out to those people. And so, for example, if one of the United States Senate candidates came out and said, yeah, I'll back Richard Irvin, then you get some of that Ken Griffin money. And then you got to say that, people you got to march around with them. And I mean, you've sold out. And I wouldn't do that, but I think that other candidates would. And I think some of these other candidates you'll find after the primary, if let's say they win, they're going to say, well, we got to support whoever the nominee is. Oh, another person that was at this Lake County gala event. And so the Senate forum was at 4:00. Then they had the gala dinner. So the Senate forum, I think, went from like 4 to 6. And then I stayed to talk with some people, a lot of really nice people, a lot of supporters, a lot of people that are helping us get the word out. And that was really encouraging and nice. Don Tracy, the head of the Illinois GOP, was there. Not even a pleasant look or a hello from him. He sat there. They have me blocked on Twitter. I'm representing their party. And I think I'm representing their party better than they do in a lot of ways. Definitely better than they are as far as the governor's race goes. So Don Tracy from the GOP is there. Another guy that's there is Jim Oberweis, the Oberweis Dairy guy. And Jim Oberweis is vehemently supporting Richard Irvin. Now, I don't want to get inside politics. This is not an inside politics thing. This is really Matt, Illinois resident, speaking. I just happen to have some experience seeing these people at these places because as a resident, as a father, as a biker, cigar smoker, small business owner, husband, and guy that's fed up, I've gotten involved. I've used all my resources to do it, everything I have, my time, my talent, whatever, my perspective, my money, and my family's time to get in on this, to help. But Jim Oberweis is there, and Jim Oberweis is online and in person telling people that Richard Irvin, this guy from Aurora, is the only chance the GOP has to win. So the message there is the only chance the GOP has to win, this is from the people running the Illinois GOP, is the only chance we have is to sell out and not be conservative, to lie and pretend to be conservative when you're not, to run based on what color your skin is and pretending to be something you're not, to run on negative campaigning, to run on wasting somebody else's money What do you think they're going to do with our money? What do you think Richard Irvin is going to do with our money if he's wasting Ken Griffin's money? Think about it. $25 million and then another maybe 15 or more from Ken Griffin, the billionaire, behind Richard Irvin, and he's sprinkling it around like he's Rip Taylor with the confetti. And if he's doing that with that guy's money, what do you think they're going to do with our money? And what do you think they're going to do with our state? And this is what is happening in Illinois. And then they're sprinkling the money around to get endorsements for certain people. And other candidates maybe don't want to affiliate with them yet, but they will later. And in the meantime, they're raising money and they're sprinkling it around to get their endorsements. Buy a table here, speak there. That's what it is. Mark says Kim, Millhiser, and someone else getting Griffin money. Yeah, it was disappointing to see that Millhiser was getting it. I met him more than once. He seemed like a very nice guy, but he's in on it. And people, where are your where's the integrity, people? Somebody sprinkles around a little bit of money during the campaign, and you can't resist it. What do you think is going to happen when they're in office? If they're so easily swayed by a little bit of green gets them to go and do things as a candidate, what are they going to do when they're in office? I want nothing to do with Richard Irvin or Ken Griffin or any of those people now that it's known what they stand for, which is nothing. Mariola says, thank you for getting involved. Well, thank you. I mean, I have to. I feel like I have to. And I feel like I'm involved anyway, because we're going to have to, you guys, this thing is not over. Like this COVID stuff and the attack on our freedoms and our liberties, it's not over. Juul is implementing mask mandates for their staff and for their vendors. It's just a matter of time before it happens again. It's just a matter of time before they start doing it with kids in school again. We're going to relive the same movie over and over again until people get in there and stop this stuff. And they will attack your pocketbook and they will leverage you. Phil says, keep speaking the truth. We're with you. I know you are, Phil. Phil's busting his hump running for Illinois Senate in the 40th District, and he's not getting any help. I mean, he's getting help from like regular people, but he's not getting help from the Illinois GOP or the Senate, whatever those groups are, those little micro groups that run things. God help us in December if they win again. It's go time, people. It is go time. And so the moral of the story here is, and I cannot stress this enough, I'm not suggesting that, Casey, if you want to, recommend to your family, a lot of people do this where they recommend to their family people that they've already, checked out, and they say, here's the people I like and all these races and all that sort of stuff. That is not, if you want to do that, it's a free country. You do that. And if your family wants to do that, it's a free country. They should do that. I'm not suggesting that. All I'm suggesting is every single person that ever sees any of these videos or that is connected to any other candidates or that is fed up and sick of what's going on in our country, you just got to get your people that that think similarly about anything. Some people are tweaked about masks, but they're not really so tweaked about schools. Some parents are really flipping out about what's going on in our schools, but they don't really care so much about masks. Some people care more about the attack on life, but then other people are a lot more pro-choice. You know people that you know better than anybody, but all these people are peeved about something. And right now, the great equalizer is the economy. So a lot of people are just peeved that, this dollar is pretty much garbage now. It's turning into a peso, faster than a speeding bullet. It's turning into a peso because it's not backed by anything anymore. And they're printing it like drunken sailors on furlough. So that may be the on-ramp for the people that you know, but whoever it is, whatever it is, however it is, if you can say something to them, if you can text them, not now because it's late, but or message them on Facebook, or send them a video, or send them a clip, or send them a news article or something, and say, hey, check out this guy. Hey, check out Phil. Hey, check out Matt. That's what we need. Because a lot of people don't realize this. In 2018, the person that won in the Senate primary was a guy named Mark Curran, and he won the Senate primary with 205 some thousand votes out of 13, almost 13 million people. 200,000 votes got him to be the person that faced Dick Durbin. And then he got beaten by Dick Durbin. If we can get 200,000 people, and by the way, that's 200 people that I connect with, 200 people that know 1,000 people, or 1,000 people that know 200 people. Either way, if we can get 200,000 people to vote for Matt Dubiel for United States Senate, for example, I will beat Tammy Duckworth. And you will have at least one senator that will go to a podium at a news conference and say, why aren't we investigating Fauci? Why aren't we investigating Lori Lightfoot? Why aren't we investigating J.B. Pritzker? For what? Well, for where were the ESSER funds going and how were they directed? What were the SHIELD tests? Who's paying and how for SHIELD's tests? And where was the money going in the state of Illinois while these mandates were being implemented? And who benefited? And how did that tie in? How did they all work together? And what science were they following? And where was the money going? And how is it possible and legal to manipulate federal funds by usurping due process and the rule of law and the branches of government to quarantine healthy people, test healthy people, and then put sick people with at-risk people? How did that happen? And also somebody will go to a podium as your senator, I'll go to a podium in a press conference and say, why are we teaching children pornography in school? Why are we teaching them racial division in school? Why aren't we teaching them about math, basic math, like the kind that you need to do to calculate your mortgage, your car payment, interest, your retirement account? Why aren't we teaching them that kind of math? Why aren't we teaching them the kind of science that helps them understand statistics and everyday medicine and how diseases are transferred and how they're not transferred? The benefits of vitamin D and sunlight. Probability. What does a 99.97% survival rate mean? What is a risk-reward ratio? Civics. How does the government work? Those are the things that I will say at podiums and on Senate floors as our representatives. Why are we sending $40 billion to the Ukraine, or any $1 billion to the Ukraine, when our veterans in the United States of America can't get insulin or dental work done? And babies can't get formula. Why are we allowing that when we have money, but we're sending it overseas? Why aren't we protecting our border? Why are we allowing people to die of fentanyl poisoning? Why are we allowing women and children to be trafficked? Why are we allowing sanctuary states and cities to get federal money? Why aren't we auditing the Federal Reserve so that we know where the value of our money comes from? 200,000 votes, and you get a senator from a nominee for the GOP that faces the Democrats in Illinois and shows the entire world that this state is awake, not woke. This state and the population is based in reality and common sense. the people of this state understand that our children and their privacy and medical freedom is number one at school. That the people of our police departments and our hospitals and our military shouldn't be forced to disclose their medical history in order to get a paycheck. That crime should be punished and criminals held accountable with prosecution and actual bail, not no cash bail and catch and release. That our cops should be allowed to police without political retribution or fear of losing their livelihood or being sued. These are the things that we need to have represented. The Democrat Party is the party of late-term abortion, runaway inflation, defunding our police. They want to defund our military. They want to send our money overseas. They want to just print and spend money, our money, and not even read the bills that they're passing. And they want to focus on whether or not we have a flag with a rainbow someplace or not, or whether or not we have a woman, a man in a woman's restroom, or a man in a woman's sport. Wouldn't it be great to have just common sense? Wouldn't it be great to have somebody that says, wait a minute, we don't really have a gun problem in the country. We have a mental health problem in the country. We have an accountability problem in our country. We have a media problem in our country. The one industry that can't be sued isn't the gun industry. It's not the gun industry and the gun lobby. It's the pharmaceutical industry. That's the one you can't sue. Those are the ones that are untouchable. Those are the companies that have perpetrated the biggest crimes and frauds against humanity that have actually been documented. Google the Pfizer, the DOJ Pfizer case from, I don't know if it was 15 years ago or when it was. I think it was like the biggest fine in the history of fines for lying, for misrepresenting things. Those are the things that Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin should be doing on our behalf. Somebody representing us needs to stand up and say, wait a minute, environmental social governance on our retirement accounts? Wait a minute. You guys are going to have a shadow government that dictates what companies get to compete in the marketplace based on whether or not they have equity and diversity in their workplace, and based on whether or not their carbon emissions are at certain levels. And so companies that don't do that won't get to compete, and companies that do participate will be rewarded. And then they will pass down that woke social credit garbage to us. And then we will be graded so that we get higher insurance premiums if we don't behave badly, or if we behave badly on social media, or if we speak out at a school board meeting. We'll have higher interest rates if we speak out at a school board meeting and our electric car won't run. And we can't get our baby formula unless we post nice things about being woke on social media. That's all going to be tied together with economic or with environmental social governance. Big companies like JP Morgan and iHeartRadio are participating in it. No senators, no candidates are talking about this. No gubernatorial candidates are talking about this. The conspiracy theorists are talking about it. These are the issues that you and I deserve to have protection on. What happens when your grandchildren have babies, or your children have babies, your grandchildren, and your grandchild is going to be born, and because of COVID and because they didn't want to get a COVID test, the husband is separated from the wife, and then the baby is taken away until they can all get COVID tests. Or our veteran needs a kidney, but he doesn't want to get a COVID test, or he gets a COVID test and he doesn't want to get a vaccine. Now he can't get the kidney. Or the cop who's 48 years old and this close to retirement, he's just got a little bit yet to go, but now they're telling him or her, you got to get this new booster. It's a new mRNA booster with COVID in it, COVID vaccination in it, programming, and we've already fortified it for the the other thing that I probably shouldn't even say it because it'll get suppressed because I already said COVID. The medical system, the monetary system, and the communication systems are merging into one digital system. So the digital dollar, your digital car, and your digital behavior are all going to be tied together. And the people in our government are either oblivious to it or they're in on it. Somebody has to stand up against it because you can have the best governor in the world, but when Costco is in town and Apple is in town and JP Morgan and Tesla and all these big companies that are all participating in ESG, there's not a damn thing the governor is going to be able to do about it. The governor has to have backup. So the mayor of Chicago has to be somebody that has some integrity and some brains. The governor of Illinois has to have some integrity and some brains. The mayors of our other towns and townships have to have some cojones and some brains. And our representatives, our 2 senators, have to have some awareness and some brains, as do all the members of Congress. That's what's at stake right now. You won't be able to work unless you comply. You won't be able to get the baby formula unless you comply. So who the Niles Township or the Schaumburg Township or the Homer Glen Township endorsed means nothing. What matters is, what do you care about and what kind of future do you want? And take a look around. I don't believe there are any candidates in any races that I've run into, maybe a couple that are close that touch on a few of the things in very contested congressional races. But across the board for Senate, nobody else is talking about the stuff that I just mentioned. Across the board for the governor's race, nobody is talking. And I've asked most of them. A couple of them I haven't asked. I don't think I got a chance to ask Paul and Max this. But the gubernatorial candidates are not talking or thinking about ESG. I don't even know if they know what it is. The hedge fund guy might know what it is. In which case you have to ask yourself, where are his alignments? Because that hedge fund community and the financial industries are plugged into environmental social governance, as is the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, the United Nations, and many, many people inside our current government. It's bad news. And some might say, like critical race theory and early alt sex ed and many of the other things we all know are happening in real time in our world, that it's conspiracy theory and that's not happening. It's happening. Google it. Go to iHeartRadio's website or Google iHeartRadio ESG. And then Google all the big companies, all the companies that are implementing woke things, like these companies that are changing their flag for the month of June. By the way, I met with a veteran today, and he shared a meme with me. Why is it that veterans get one day? And we have Pride Month in June. Why is it that the veterans we lost get one day, Memorial Day? Thousands and thousands of people. And they get one day. And Americans don't even know what it is. They're telling people, thank you for your service, that are alive on Memorial Day. Memorial Day is for those we lost in service. It's to memorialize those we've lost in service that paid the ultimate price for our freedom to vote. For you and me to be able to look at a list of candidates and go, you know what, I'm going to take that one and this one and this one and this one, and these are my votes. That's what they fought for ultimately. They fought for our freedom, our vote. They fought for our currency. They fought for our borders. They fought for our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. These are the things they gave the ultimate price for. There's no do-over. This ain't Mario Brothers. They don't get another life. This is it. Fin. And they gave the ultimate price. They get one day. Their families get one day. The month of June, we got the NFL, we got BMW, we got all these companies changing their flags. Look at those companies. Look at their policies for ESG. Then look at those companies and see what they do when in their headquarters in Dubai or Europe or China. They don't pull that crap in China. They had to edit movies for China. China doesn't play that stuff. So you want to know who's involved in ESG, look at these companies that are putting woke ideas into their advertising. Look at Oreo or Nabisco, whoever's behind Oreo. Look at all the companies changing their flags. Look at all these businesses that are doing, stuff in their advertising where you're like, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? That's why they're doing that. They're getting ready for this form of a shadow government. And it's a way to usurp the Constitution and link up with the World Economic Forum and eventually the World Health Organization and the United Nations. Bad. Bad for Illinois. Bad for America. Bad for Matt Dubiel. Bad for you and your family. One man can't fix it. I'm not saying that one man can fix it, but I don't think any of these other people are talking or thinking about it or even know what it is. Some of these people running for office just got online for the first time in the last few months for their candidacy. They just got on Facebook and Twitter and, social media because they're running for office. They don't know what it's like to be in Facebook jail like you've maybe been in Facebook jail. They don't know what it's like to be suppressed or shadow banned or any of that stuff. They don't have any clue. But you do. You people that have been on these platforms like me for however long, sharing things about, your life, you've experienced it. This is where it's going. And so we have an opportunity. You have an opportunity. Use these platforms and this technology. I don't have my phone, but you take out your phone and you use that thing. That's a printing press. It's a TV station. It's a radio station. It's a publishing company in the palm of your hand. Everybody that is watching this at any point has anywhere from 200 to 2,000 contacts in your phone. Anybody that's watching this that has upwards of 100 to 200 to 2,000 friends and followers and connections, especially when you extrapolate it to how many connections your connections have. What's more important than this? I don't know. We're about to find out. Because a lot of people are going to be real disappointed at the end of July. It takes 21 days before the election is final. So June 28th is the actual election. 21 days after that, these mail-in ballots and all this other stuff starts rolling in. The way to combat that stuff is to be so big and make it so big and so overwhelming that it can't be messed with. The people spoke. Did you ever see A Bug's Life? The grasshoppers versus the ants. If you haven't, Google the clip or whatever, but grandparents will know what I'm talking about. Parents will know what I'm talking about. These grasshoppers ever figure out, or these ants ever figure out they have the grasshoppers outnumbered and all they have to do is mobilize. It's donezo for the grasshoppers. I'm no grasshopper. I'm just an ant. But we ants have the power. Are you going to use it or are you going to lose it? Because they're coming for it in every way, shape, or form. They're coming, and it's not hyperbole and it's not conspiracy. They're just out there with it. The World Health Organization wants to take our sovereignty. The World Economic Forum wants to take our currency and our sovereignty. The United Nations wants to take our sovereignty. They want us all to behave as one. And we don't get the seat at the head of that table anymore. China does. Now look inside our country. The people in our government, they want to take our free speech. The people in technology want to take our free speech. Some of your neighbors want to take our free speech. The people in our government want to take our Second Amendment. Some of our neighbors want to take our Second Amendment. And it starts with, well, you don't need this. And it's none of your business what the guy next door to you needs. None of your business. And it's none of the government's business. They're coming for all that stuff. And the dial has been turned up and the timeline has been turned up. Just wait. The next 21 days 21 days, things are going to get dialed up. And just in time for people to go on vacation and go to the pool, barbecue. Then you got the Independence Day. The election is just a few days before Independence Day. Maybe record low voting in person and maybe record voting by mail in Chicago and in Cook County. We need 200,000 votes in all of Illinois. So, do you have a governor candidate you like? Tell your whole family who you like and why. You have a United States Senate candidate you like? I know one that's pretty good. Tell your family. Tell everyone you know. Send them a video. Send them my 2-minute video about priorities for the American dream. It's on my YouTube channel at dubielforsenate.com. It's on Facebook also, but it's right at the top. If you go to dubielforsenate.com, priorities for the American dream, send them that 2-minute video and say, hey, this guy's running for Senate. What do you think? Elections June 28th. That's it. Send it to everyone you know. Do the same thing Senate is at the top of the ticket. Everyone is going to get a ballot that says United States Senate. That's the first race on there. Then you're going to have all the others. AG, Attorney General, Governor, Congress, your congressional area, your state Senate area, your assembly area, your school, all that stuff. We need people to pay attention. All right, I'm at an hour. It's time for bed. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for sharing this. I care about us. I mean, this is selfish because, remember during COVID when they said, first it was you don't have to wear a mask, then it was that you have to wear 2 masks and all that kind of stuff. And then they started telling us that you have to wear a mask to protect the person next to you. Then they started telling us you have to get the thing to protect the person next to you. All that was garbage and nonsense. Well, what happened here? All that was garbage and nonsense, except you and I have to secure our freedom and stand up for our freedom. Because if I don't, your freedom is at risk. And if you don't, my freedom is at risk. And if we don't, their freedom is at risk. Freedom is something like a ripple effect. And if we don't stand up for our freedoms and what this country is built on, we will weaken it for the rest of us. And when they keep chipping away at it and chipping away at it and chipping away at it, it's just a matter of time before it all crumbles. And I've said it before, I'll keep saying it again, and I'm not the only one. As falls America, so falls the world. We are what's holding this whole thing together from going completely off the rails. The things they want to do at the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization and the United Nations and the things that people who have infiltrated our government are helping facilitate with technology companies like IBM and Tesla and others would make the Third Reich and that leader blush, except they've reversed it and they've made it seem as though that is good and that is worthy. And what we're standing for is not. They flipped the script. We need more people talking and about the truth and speaking truth, not regurgitating their nonsense and flipping the script on and gaslighting the American people and the next generation. That's what they're doing. The time is now. DoBealForSenate.com to share that video. Do it not just for me, do it for others. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for sharing this. There's a lot of people commenting and a lot of stuff. I'll read the comments later, but I really appreciate it. I'm just going to leave you with this. Casey says, your Fauci impression is too good. I got it from Anthony, my son. He was doing it throughout COVID. You need to wear 2 masks. I'm not a fan of Fauci. I want to investigate Fauci. Thank you all. Good night. Good luck. And that's another thing. People keep telling me, I meet some of these people. They're like, yeah, good luck to you. No, this isn't for me. Doing something like this, the reward is truly the connection with other people that know something needs to be done. But if when successful, the reward is to have to deal with these people that are in our government, which either they're too stupid to know what is going on, or they're evil. There's really no in between as far as I can see it. And what's scary is some people in our country think that what I'm saying is out there, but it's a reality. The people inside our government are misrepresenting us and taking us down a road that we will not be able to recover from. And they will destroy our country and our way of life. And that's how serious this is. Too many people are understating it. Too many people are sugarcoating it. It's serious. And I don't know what's more serious than this. Kathleen Joy says, I came on late and will rewatch. Love how you speak the truth. Thank you. Not everyone will agree. But if you agree, we got to get busy. I'm doing everything I can. If there's anything you can do to help by spreading the word for us, it's not for me. It's for us. Somebody asked me the other day, like, oh, well, why are you doing this? To me, the analogy is we're on an airplane and there's 2 pilots and they're supposed to be, looking out for us. Tammy and Dick are supposed to be piloting the plane. And I get up there to the cockpit. We look at the cockpit and they're passed out. Somebody's got it. Somebody's got to get in there and go like, wait a minute. We got to, let's straighten this thing out. Here we go. All right, let's straighten this thing out. Oh, yeah, we can do this. That's what needs to happen. This is not boy, I'd really like to be senator someday. It's for our children. Yes, 100%, Mariola. It's for our children. And we got to get busy because they're getting the raw end of the stick here. And so are our elders. They don't have as much time, as they did, right? The clock is ticking. And this country, my grandmother is 103 years old. And she doesn't really know what's going on. If she did, she would be beside herself because this world is becoming unrecognizable. And there's people that realize that. And then there's others that don't. We have to find more of the people that realize it. That's what we got to do. And that's what I'm trying to do with this stuff here. That's my goal here. And there's going to be people that are like, yeah, what's he talking about? This isn't for you. Keep nothing to see here. The people that know there's a problem, I'm talking to you because you already know. And so please help me find other people like us in Illinois. All right. Good night. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. DoBealForSenate.com if you want to share the priorities for the American dream with other people. It's a quick 2-minute video. And I made it for you. It's a very emotional and very personal to me. And I hope that you and your family and your friends and people that you share it with will see that. because it's straight from the heart. So have a good night. Thanks for watching this. Be good.